Farmers have been dealing with adversity with weather events for generations. We're going to have drought again and we're going to have wet times again. So I think we do have to concentrate now is to try and get things right in your management process to be able to deal with these changes, whether it be dry or wet.
We can't wave this magic wand and things go away. We know that there is going to be future events and we know that there's going to be new challenges that come along. But we hope that the work we're doing now, the effort we're putting in now, that will make that next emergency event or that next industry crisis a little less painful because we've learned from these past experiences, we've captured those learnings and we've passed those learnings on so that they're in a better place and they're more prepared to deal with that next big event that comes along.
G'day, my name is Paul Condon. I'm a fifth generation dairy farmer.
I'm Ken Garner from New South Wales DPI. I am the dairy manager based in Bega on the South Coast.
Hi, my name's Amanda Britton and I'm working with New South Wales Department of Primary Industries as the Program Manager for the Storm and Flood Recovery Program. It's no surprise to anybody, the last few years have been really tough for our dairy farming community between bushfires, floods, storms and prolonged wets, and we have seen the impact that this has had on our businesses.
When we're putting this program together, one of the things we had to make sure is that we actually heard the real stories of what happened on the ground. We interviewed a lot of farmers and spoke to a lot of farmers. They shared their stories and some of them were really difficult times and very emotional, but they were really willing to give up their time to tell us what happened and what worked and what didn't work so that we could capture that information, capture those learnings. We could pull that together from all the different interviews and farmers we spoke to and pull out the highlights so that we can pass that on to other people and saying, well, this is the sort of stuff that's going to make a difference for you if you adopt this going forward.
Well, we're all different in the way our farms are set up and where we farm. I always say there's always someone worse off. And you see some of these dairy farmers that are on low-lying areas and just get caned and their whole farm might be covered in water the next day, so they can't do anything. There's people there to help. They can help you take the next step, whether you have to make changes in your operation or even with a point where you might have to plan infrastructure to be able to move on to the next step.
So some of the common themes emerging, so on farm, it's about being prepared. It might just be infrastructure. What infrastructure have I got to feed animals when all my paddocks are underwater or they're burnt out? It's about feed security. How much I have stored on farm or do I have good access to it? The other one is respect to animal health, being on top of those issues that might cause mastitis or other animal health issues. And the other one is, and maybe a bit surprising, but it's about being connected and it's about having networks and it's about having support. And those farmers who had good connections, good support, they felt like they were able to recover far more quickly because they just had that support network around them and they had people who were there who had their backs.
Those wet times where you got rain day after day after day, mentally and physically, it can really get you down. Well, it's important to make sure your animals are okay and the infrastructure's okay and everything's going fine. Number one important is yourself. Good mental health is an important issue because if you go downhill, you can't operate anything. And there is help out there for mental health. There's fantastic programs and agencies to give you a hand. Sometimes the hardest thing is for you, yourself personally, to actually touch base with people. Just know that it's important to reach out, to get yourself right, to take time out and move on, because it can be a bit of a battle mentally and physically, but to say is just make sure you get yourself right.
Spending time with farmers, the stories were harrowing, the stories were profound, but what struck me the most was the ability of these farmers to recover. It has lightened my heart in regards to the passion that we bring as a team to be able to collate the information, pull that together through the analysis and deliver some on-ground tools and resources that we know will help dairy farmers. It's impossible to be prepared 100% for the next event, but what we can do is start the conversation, start prioritising, start putting mitigation strategies in place and having that network to support you after the natural disaster has been through.
With these agencies that we have got out there and willing to give their help, I think it's important to make sure you engage. If they can help you in any way, even a small way, it's just a start of your progress to move forward. Sometimes it's a bit hard to get off farm, but if you get the opportunity to go to a field day You never know, you might learn one small thing, but that small thing might help you go down the track. I encourage you to try and get along and just have a look and have a listen, and you might get something out of it.